Hello and welcome to a slightly drizzly day here in Nova Scotia, and welcome to my channel, The Optimistic Gardener. My name is Steve Farley. So I'm up in my, what I call the secret garden area of my apple orchard. And I'm up here because last year I planted a privet hedge. You can sort of see it forming behind me. But I ran out of privet on the sides, on both sides, before I could finish it. So I've had some new privet delivered by post. So I thought I'd share with you the process of me planting them and show you how to plant a privet hedge. I don't know if you can see, but the black fly tonight are absolutely brutal. Brutal indeed. So I'm going to abandon all pretense at vanity, and I shall be wearing my net hat for the rest of this video. So please don't be too scared when you see me the first time. I do look a bit like a scarier version of the scarecrow out of the Wizard of Oz. So let the digging begin. So as you can see here, I've got stone chippings path. Well, it's actually a drainage ditch, but I'm going to use it as a path. And on your left hand side here, we've got the privet hedge coming in, and I'm short of one privet here. What I intend to do is plant this one here, and then that's going to train that up as it gets older, and I'm going to train it to go over what's going to be a gate here, and I'll have some sort of post, fence post I'm going to put in, and swinging the gate off it, and then the arch will go over, and I'll have some sort of clematis or something on this side growing up. And one of the important parts of when the hedge gets bigger is that it will prevent the deer getting into this part of the garden, hopefully, when all the hedge joins together. And I'll have the gate here, and then there'll be no deer to come from behind me in the woodland into this part of the garden. That's the theory anyway. So one of the things I've got to contend with in this part of the garden is obviously 10 million rocks and stones. And the other thing is this really poor clay earth. Absolutely awful stuff, as you can see there. So I've dug the hole out and I'm giving it a good, making sure below it is nice and loose, and I'm bringing in some nice compost here, and I'm going to have that at least down the bottom, so it's going to be better drainage down there, and at least a better earth for the plant to sit in to start with. And I've had this privet sitting in a bucket of water for an hour or so. So it doesn't look much at the moment, but this is exactly what the other part of the privet looked like last year. So I'm hoping this will respond really well as well. So let's have a look to see the height. So obviously we want to make sure that the roots need to be below the earth. So I think that's about right. What I'll do is I'll get some in. Let's get that nice and firm. Let's get some more earth. Fill the hole in nicely. Make sure it's nice and straight. Again, let's make sure it's nice and firm, seal it in a bit around it. Get rid of any air pockets. That's good. A bit more earth. I don't mind sticking some of this on top. Right, so make that little well around it. Give it a good drink. So I'll do the other privets. I'll plant them in, then I'll give them a good mulch as usual. So I'm up the other end here of the hedge, and you can see, look, this earth here is almost red brown. It's like Uluru or the old Ayers Rock as they used to call it. It's that clayey yuck, terrible. So let's give it plants a good base. Nice bit of compost. So I'm planting these all the way along, about 2 foot apart, and then they should all, as the years go on, they should grow in to each other nicely. And the really good thing about privet is it's I don't think deer actually like privet, so that's a really good thing when you're trying to grow a hedge, an anti-deer hedge. And again, I don't know if you can actually see the amount of black fly there are around me. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And if I didn't have this rather silly hat on, I would be bitten to shreds, as I was in the first couple of years when I was gardening here, and I let vanity get in the way of good sense. So let's get these in before they sneak under the my defences. So again, right, once about there, I think that is about right. Let's get something to put in. Could be short of some decent earth here. I want to go for a refill. Right, 2 foot. Line this up nicely. They're a good hardy bush, the old privet, and once they get going, they grow quite quickly, so that's another good thing. Get some more in there. Get the second one, and that should line up at the end there. Slightly muggy weather tonight, which the old black fly love, which is why they're out. It's been a bit chilly for them lately, so they thought, hello, weather's nice, let's get amongst it. Unfortunately, going to have to put some of this clay stuff around. Right, as usual, let's have a good drink. And finish off with a good mulch. What I thought this was rather good. So my leaf mould bin is in a rather shady area, and I've just been delving quite deep into there to get some decent leaf mould. And 31st of May it is, down the bottom of the actual leaf mould bin is still ice, still blocked up with ice. You may not think that's amazing, but I do. There we go, it will soon break up. Let's get some good stuff here. So leaf mould is a really good, obviously, mulching material. Once it's broken up, you know, you leave it. If you can chop it up, that's brilliant, but basically get all your leaves, stick them in a shady area and just leave them for a year or so, and they break up nicely. And then once you get it in there, they'll break down into the soil. The worms will come up, incorporate this lovely material into the soil itself, and that will help the privet as it goes along. There's not a lot of nutrients in there, but you know, there's that good organic material, give it a nice good protection. Well, there we go. Job's a good one, and we'll come back to this later on in the year, see how these fellas are getting on. Right, I'm going in. I've had enough of this black fly. It's Friday night, time for Gardener's World.